Hi, I'm Donna from donnaonthebeach.com and welcome to Ask Donna, the video series where I answer your questions about making your dreams a reality. This week's question comes from Valerie, who says, I keep starting and stopping with taking action on my big dream. I get so frustrated with myself that I can't just keep going. And breathe, Valerie. The first thing that I want to point out with this is you keep starting. And sometimes I think a reframe is necessary. Yeah, you keep stopping, but you also keep starting, which is a good thing. And I often say, what is the best way to get the best out of you? Is it to get frustrated and angry and cross with yourself and beat yourself up because you keep stopping and you can't just keep going? No. Most people, and I would probably go so far as to say all people, work better, give their best more when they are encouraged, nurtured, taken care of, and kind of brought forward with get the best out of somebody, tell them about their best, encourage them to do their best, don't tell them off. I know that's the paradigm that we all grew up with at school, you know, people trying to get the best out of us by giving us a bollocking. But frankly, it's not really the best way to get the best out of you. So, number one, be good to yourself. Think about the best way to get the best out of you. And I'm guessing being frustrated and getting cross with yourself for starting and stopping isn't great. So give yourself credit for starting. Number two, figure out why you keep stopping. There's a lot of reasons why you could keep stopping. One of them is a natural stopping point. So for example, when you've taken massive action, there is a point at which you need to kind of fall back, regroup, rejuvenate, re-energize, and then go again. And that's kind of a natural stopping point. There's a natural ebb and flow to life. And I know all about getting frustrated with the ebb, trust me. I think I spent the whole of 2010 fighting against the fact that there was an ebb in life until I finally got to the point of realizing, oh, hold on, this is just a natural part of the flow. You ebb and flow. Ebb and flow, and the more that you can get comfortable with that ebb and flow aspect of life, the easier it is, because then you don't fight the ebb. You know, imagine the tide going out and fighting it. No, I want to stay in, I want to stay in. It just would be crazy and would take longer to ebb, and then the flow would come later, you know? Do you know what I mean? So that's one of the things that it could be. You know, if you're driving at 100 miles an hour, at some point you've got to stop and get fuel. We cannot go at 100 miles an hour all the time. Much as we like to think that we could be or should be superhuman, we're not. We are human, and we need to honour that and acknowledge that. The other kind of natural stopping place is when you get to a point, maybe where there's a fork in the road, or maybe where you hit some kind of obstacle that is, you just think, I'm not quite sure how to do the next bit, how to get the next bit towards my big dream. And one of the best ways to deal with it, and sometimes we intuitively do this without realizing it consciously, is just to stop and move away from it for a while. I know that if I hit a problem, the best way for me to figure it out is to get away from it, go for a walk, maybe do some yoga, meditate, just get away from it. And the answer comes. Sometimes it takes a while to come, but the answer does come. And sometimes we know better than we think we know, if you know what I mean. That we naturally just go, okay, I'm going to get away from it a bit, have a think. Natural stopping point, nothing to worry about. It could also just be life getting in the way. Life does that sometimes, you know, we get ill or something happens, some emergency comes up, we get really busy, family stuff comes up. And again, that's kind of, can be a kind of natural stopping point. And the key with that one is just to make sure that when life stops being crazy, that you get back into it. Because what can often happen is life gets crazy, you stop, and then it's 8 months down the line before you get back to it. And life wasn't crazy for the whole 8 months, it was just for 3 weeks, but you get out of the habit of working on your big dream. So that's the strategy to deal with that one, is just to notice, okay, life's got crazy right now. You know, something's happened and I need to be present with this right now. I can't be present with my big dream. I've got to be present with this. But when this is over, then I move back to my big dream. And sometimes it does mean kind of not exactly starting again, but building up to where you were before. I know that when we had a death in the family, and for 3 weeks or 4 weeks, I couldn't work. I couldn't do it. I managed to work with my clients and do little bits and pieces, but the rest of the stuff that I did, I just couldn't do it. So, and it took a while for me to get back into it. I had to have kind of what I believe they call a staggered return. You know, I had to kind of come back and go, okay, now I'm going to do a 25-hour week, and then I'll do a 30-hour, and then a 35, and then I'm back up to my normal week. But it took time to do that, and that can happen. Life happens, you know, life isn't always sunshine and roses. Sometimes shit happens and you have to deal with it. And again, like the ebb and flow, the more quickly you can get comfortable with the fact that, you know what, this is happening, I've got to deal with it. Acceptance is such a great thing, because once you accept it, you can move on. Rather than trying to fight against something, you can just move on from it. The other thing that could be causing stoppages is fears, obstacles, blockages, anything that's coming up to kind of, make you shy away from your big dream. And again, it's not something to get frustrated and beat yourself up over, because these fears and beliefs and obstacles need to come up to be dealt with. And often what we do is we go full pelt towards our big dream, hit a fear of failure, a fear of success, and go knock out. And then rather than looking and saying, okay, what happened there, we kind of go, okay, just wander away. And again, you know, it can be 3 or 4 months before you get back to it. Sometimes by that time the fear's gone. So maybe that was the right thing to do, who knows. But sometimes you need to kind of look at it and go, okay, this is why. For example, if you look at why you keep stopping and notice it's the same point every time, maybe the point at which you send your book to a publisher, or the point at which you ask your friends if they know anyone who would be interested in your new business, or the point at which you show your artwork to the world, or whatever it is. If you always stop at that point, ta-da, you found something you need to deal with. Again, there's nothing to kind of worry about with it. It just is. We all have our shit. And big dreams particularly bring up that shit for us. They bring up every insecurity, every fear, every doubt, every belief that's going to get in our way. They bring the whole lot up so that we can deal with it. That's why it's there, so that we can deal with it. That's all. It's just like someone coming along and shining a light in the corner and going, you need to dust that corner, girl. That's all it is. It's not a criticism or a judgment. It's just, here is something for you to deal with. That's it. So, your 3-step plan. Number 1, be good to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Encourage yourself. Try not to, I understand frustration so well, but try not to get frustrated with yourself. Instead, give yourself credit for keeping starting. Do you know how many people there are who have big dreams who've never started once, or have started and stopped and never gone again? You keep starting. Good for you. Good for you. Give yourself credit. Number 2, look at why you keep stopping. It might be completely different reasons every time, but start to look at why you keep stopping. And then number 3, get strategies in place for each of those things. So as I say, if life gets in the way, the faster you notice, the faster you can say, okay, life's crazy right now, I can't do the 20 hours a week I was doing or whatever, but I can do 10 minutes a day. So that's what I'm going to do, just to keep it ticking along. If it's a fear or a belief that's getting in your way, get some help, get a coach, get a friend who's good at that kind of thing to help move you forward and raise your confidence and get past your fears. If it's a natural stopping point, don't worry about it. Just know that you have an innate sense of what to do and that you can trust yourself to start again, because you do keep starting again. So I hope that helps, Valerie, and I hope that you keep starting and starting and starting and starting. And the more that you do this, the more that you find like, oh, that always trips me up. Okay, I can deal with that. So that no longer is a trigger for me to stop. So there's one less thing that's going to make me stop. Oh, that often trips me up. So I've got rid of that. That doesn't need to ever trip me up again. And you'll find that it becomes easier and easier to stay in the flow and not worry about the ebb, and stay in the flow and not worry about the ebb. It does get easier and easier. Just trust yourself in this period of learning how to best do this. And that's the best way to look at this kind of period for you, starty, stoppy, starty, stoppy, is that this is where you're learning how to pursue your big dream in a way that really works for you. And it's a good thing. It's all good, always. So there you go. That's my answer to this week's Ask Donna question. If you have a question you would like me to answer, please get in touch. You can either leave a comment below this video, come along to my website, donnaonthebeach.com, find me on Facebook, Donna on the Beach on Facebook. I'm at Donna on the Beach on Twitter if your question is really short. And as ever, if you like this video, please like it, tweet it, Facebook it, share it, put it on every social network you're part of. Share it with any friends who you think, I know someone who really needs to see this video. Share it with them. And there are still 2 places available on my summer special coaching offer. So if you feel that you need more personal support to help you move your big dream forward, please come along to my website, donnaonthebeach.com, and look at the summer special coaching offer. Can't say that very well. Anyway, may all your dreams become reality. Take care. Bye.